So, guys, this is another live session that we are doing with Nishu. Our Instagram handle is Time Travel Girl.
Yeah.
पता ही होगा काफी लोगों को, सब लोगों को.
Yeah.
And in this topic, we'll be talking about the favorite destination of Nishu in India.
Yeah.
Any guesses? Any guesses that you guys would like to take?
Um, I don't think so. These guys would be able to tell that.
It's in South India.
Yeah.
Probably you can give some clue in terms of the state.
Yeah. So, okay, initially it was one of the richest capital in the world after Beijing, and now it is known for its ruined architecture and yeah, ruined landscape.
Okay, I guess someone
Somebody said, I think
like
Bhutan,
to
but they're
say anything
talking
about Kasol and Tosh. Yeah, she can
Rameshwaram.
talk about Kasol and Tosh. I think Bhutan,
No, Bhutan is not in.
Rameshwaram,
Nope,
Rameshwaram,
guys.
Kerala. Okay,
Rameshwaram नहीं था इतना rich. Rameshwaram was not one of the richest capital in the world. No.
okay.
Yeah.
Kerala state. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's this particular place in a state. Okay, state का hint दे दो. नाम बता दो
Yeah.
state का.
So, okay. It is in Karnataka. Guys, it is in Karnataka and it is known for its ruined architecture and ruined landscape. And the
Now
sunsets
this should
from
be
your,
easy.
yeah, it should be easy, guys. And the sunset from here is so beautiful.
Pondicherry.
Pondicherry is not in Karnataka, the Moon Chasers
There's
official.
mountain. Keep guessing. Karnataka, she's already told the name of the state.
Guys,
Nah.
Munnar is in Kerala. I think I need to take a geography lesson first. Okay, we got one answer actually.
Hampi? Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
we got an answer, Hampi. Yay, the Moon Chasers official. I think we should clap for them.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
why Hampi?
So, many reasons. First of all, like when I saw the landscape and the architecture and the ruined history behind Hampi, I was just so in awe. Given now talking about the history of Hampi, it was falling under, it was the capital of Vijayanagara Empire, which was, world's second richest empire in the world during 1400 BC, and the Mughal Sultanate actually kind of destroyed the whole city. So if you talk about the history and then now when you go and see the architecture, you could really see the destroyed monuments. They are kept as is, and when you walk around the city, you get the feel of, okay, it must be an amazing city back then when the destroyed version is like this. And that is why, because of the history and what we get to see today, given the mixture of both, I really love Hampi.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, did you actually read about the place before you went to Hampi, or you got to know about all this
Yeah.
over the place itself?
No, so when I first went to Hampi, I just went for Hampi because I had heard a lot that Hampi is beautiful and the architecture is nice. So first visit was just for the sake of Hampi because I wanted to see, okay, what Hampi is. And when I went for the first time, I saw there are so many of the monuments, and apart from the monument, there's also a chilled out version of Hampi besides that side of the river. So both these, I think I'm hearing my own echo, Pankaj.
No, I can hear you completely.
Okay, then we can continue. So, first time I went, it was just for Hampi, and after that, when I got to know more about it, I wanted to really know more on this. I wanted to know about each and every of the about each and every monument. So I went the second time. Then I wanted to know more about like the temples and the villages nearby. Then I went the third time to Hampi. So it didn't happen like before I went there, I read about it, but slowly during my visits and then coming back and then reading more on this and then going back, I got to know a lot more about Hampi.
So,
Yeah.
what's the best way to reach Hampi? Let's start from there. How to reach the place?
Okay, Hampi does not have its own airport or railway station. So nearest village or rather nearest town is Hospet, and we have direct trains from Bangalore to Hospet, which is like an overnight journey. So you sit here at like 10 o'clock or something. You reach there morning 6 7, depending on if the train is on time or not. And that is like the best way to go to Hampi. You take an overnight train from Bangalore and you reach Hampi by morning 6 7 o'clock. And if you're coming from North India, probably even then it would be a best route to first come to Bangalore and then take a train, because the airport which is there in Hampi is I think Bellary, which is again little far off, and there is no direct connectivity, I guess, from cities like Delhi or Mumbai. You would have to come to Bangalore and then go. So the best way is to go via train through Bangalore.
And it must be expensive also if someone plans to go directly by flight.
Yeah,
So
it would be,
cost
because
bomb, I guess.
it would cost a lot, because it is a very small airport and there is no direct flights from major cities in India. You would have to take a connecting flight. So it's better to come to Bangalore, which is much cheaper, and then take a cheap train. And the sleeper train cost is around 300 or something, which is very minimalistic.
Hmm. So once I reach there,
Hmm.
then what should be the plan and how many days do I need to explore the place?
So once you reach Hampi, actually, it is not a small place which could be covered in just 1 or 2 days. A lot of people think it as a weekend getaway, but honestly speaking, it has a different areas altogether. If you really want to explore it nicely, at least you need. See, I've been there 3 times and I still feel that I've not seen it all. So, if you really want to explore it properly, you should have at least 3 days. And in that 3 days, you could split like the historical side, the monument side, 1.5 day, 2 days, and the chilled out side, which is Hippie Island, people call it now, maybe 1 and 1.5 days. Yeah.
So what all can be explored?
Okay.
The
So, once
must
you
visit
reach,
places.
okay. So once you reach Hospet, from there you have to take an auto. And that's from there exactly your trip starts, to be honest, because the road from Hospet to Hampi also is like a village where you have like, stoned like roads on one side where you would find that the ruined stone architecture, and the other side would have like coconut trees. And there's a road, like a small road in the middle where your tuk-tuk or auto is going, and I feel like it happens morning 6 or 7 o'clock, because that's when the train reaches, and you get to see the sunrise also in the morning while going in auto from Hospet to Hampi. So that's like an exciting start of a trip. So once you reach there, I would say that you can go to there's a temple, Virupaksha temple, which is a very famous Hindu temple in South India. And people not only from South India, in fact, North India also come here for prayers, praying to Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu and Parvati. And so these are the deities which are famous in Virupaksha temple. And also there is an elephant called Lakshmi, and people pray to Lakshmi as well for blessings. Though I don't believe in keeping an animal for your own benefit, for man's own benefit. But yeah, just as a fact, as a matter of fact, I would like to say that there's an elephant also, and people generally go for blessings to that elephant as well. And then, so you could start with exploring Virupaksha temple. Then you can go to another temple, or rather another temple which is known for its stone chariot. And
Okay.
so we would have seen a 50 rupee note, I guess, where we have the stone chariot printed on
There are
that
a lot
note.
of
And
pics. Yeah,
yeah,
there are a lot of
I
pics
think
in Instagram.
I think I should have kept it with me, but I don't think so. I will have that. Otherwise, I'll show people. No. So you can actually see that in person, and that's a real. I don't have that note, and that's a really beautiful structure. Like, imagine it is being made. A stone chariot is being made. I don't know how many years before, though it is little bit ruined right now, but the the construction of it would give you an idea of, okay, what it was years back, how developed India was years back. Like, each and every monument in Hampi would remind you of the developed India really long back. And then also you can see a Lakshmi Narsimha temple. So the history of the temple is there is Lord Vishnu, and then Lord Vishnu had Lakshmi on his lap. But when Mughals destroyed Hampi, and the Lakshmi was made up of jewels and diamonds, they took Lakshmi with them, and the structure of Lord Vishnu is there. So imagine, like, that's what you will see, that the Lakshmi deity is gone because it was made of jewels, and people say like n number of diamonds we can't even count. And you will just now see the Lord Vishnu structure over there. So that's also really amazing. And then we have, like I mentioned, about the Hippie Island. So a lot of people actually go to Hampi for Hippie Island because Island is like a chilled out place where you just can go and probably do some chillums stuff like that, and you can get a hut or a very small mud house for yourself and just chill in that place. Or you can also hire a moped. I've never driven a moped, but that was the first time I got in Hampi, and two of us sat on that, and the speed was like so slow, and it was creating such big noise that we were like, okay, we need to really change it. It is fun for the sound, like for the name of it, but when it actually comes to practically drive it, it is really difficult. So we changed it. So a lot of people can do that as well, like hiring a moped and driving around places.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what are the stay options in Hampi?
So if you ask about stay options, actually Hampi is not very very developed place. Though a lot of tourism is there in Hampi, but there are very less number of stay options in terms of having a luxury hotel or luxury boutique hotels, etc. So if you're looking for comfort, then you can't stay in main Hampi area because that's where you will find like very basic homestay with just one bed, a fan, that's about it, and a bathroom in your room. That's about it. Nothing more than that. So when the first time I reached, I was like, what is this? Like, I did not imagine that people would be putting cow dung and cleaning that road. That is what I saw in Hampi, like, right outside my homestay. That was being done. I was like, galat jagah aa gayi hu main pakka se. This can't be the place which I booked. But that's how it was. So if you want to stay, if somebody wants to stay in a luxury place, etc., so they can stay near Hospet itself, where you have like Hyatt, and there are a couple of other luxury, not luxury, I would say comfort hotels as well. But if you are in for some adventure and in for getting the true feel of Hampi, I would say stay near Hampi itself, stay in Hampi itself, and stay in those like just basic rooms where you get just the bed and the fan and just a washroom. That's about it. And you would also have the hammocks outside your mud houses. So these are that those stay options are very adventurous and different from your usual holiday stays.
Are there hostel options available?
No, when I went last year, there was no hostel option. But the thing is that these rooms are pretty cheap. You will get these rooms if you're not booking in, if you are not going in off like on season, you could get it for 500, 600 rupees. So you really don't need a hostel if rooms itself are so cheap. But if you're going on a long weekend पे जा रहे हो and weekends and stuff, and if you're not booking in advance, then you would have to pay thousand and stuff. So once I went on a solo trip, I got a room for like 500 rupee per day. And then I asked an auto wala only ki I need a cheap place. I was really scared ki I don't know what kind of a place this auto guy will take me, but let me take a chance and see the place. If I'm happy, I'll take it. Otherwise, I'll find on my own because I did not book it in advance that point in time. So he really showed me around two, three places, and then he was there with me till I really get satisfied with the place. I was like, okay, I hope nothing happens. I've given him so much information and stuff, but he was really nice.
So what's the
Yeah.
best time one wants to go to?
So Hampi is really hot. Like other South Indian places, Hampi is extremely hot, and probably I think the stone factor adds to the weather. So the temperature could get as high as 45 degree or even more than that, or you feel it is that hot. So the best time to go Hampi is probably in like late November or November, December, January. These 3 months are like the best months to go to Hampi.
Basically, when it's winter time in North India, then probably you can.
Yeah, when it winter time in South India, and then it will be good. Otherwise, you will just become a boiled egg and come to your homestay. No, then don't do that. I went in October. Even October was very hot.
October's are, I guess, yeah.
Yeah,
I think
October's
it's
were also very
humid.
hot.
I guess the temperature is humid in October, but
Uh,
November to
hmm.
Feb must be a good time.
Yeah, so temperature was not humid as such, but it was hot. It was really hot. because it is not near to sea and stuff, so it was not humid. But because of the stone factor, I think they absorb the heat, and it remains hot during the whole day, and then post sunset it starts to cool down. But in the morning again, it is very hot. So the best time to go is only in December till February. Yeah.
What would be food options, some local food that you suggest?
Yeah, so see, again, like other South Indian places, the local food is dosas, idlis, filter coffee, and some puris. Puris with aloo sabji, they make it. And what happens is near the main Hampi area, early morning, the local people set up like small shops outside their houses. So these are local cuisine. Dosa is local, but we try, given the foreign tourism which come in Hampi, they make it really fancy. So once I had like dosa with Nutella and banana. I was like, and crushed coconut on the top of
Oh,
it. I was like, I was not expecting this to be my breakfast in Hampi, where people are cleaning their houses with cow dung. But in their ways, they are advanced, and that was the delicious breakfast I had, and that price was just 40 rupees or 50 rupees. And it was so tasty, like crispy dosas with shredded coconut and Nutella. It was amazingly tasty. So these are basically the local food. Apart from that, you also get like South Indian thalis. You would get like sambar, rasam, and rice and chapatis and stuff. And then they are advanced. There are some small cafes also. They would give like falafels and pita breads, and you would get some Western and Mediterranean dishes as well. But if you want to eat local, have the dosas in the morning as breakfast, and then after that, have a filter coffee, and then you are set.
okay.
Yeah.
That should not be very expensive then.
No, it would cost hardly 60 rupees, or if you eat 3, 4 dosas, so 100 rupees.
And
Hmm.
so, if I have to move around, what's the best way to explore the place? Either you hire a moped,
Hmm.
scooty, or are there auto options or
Hmm.
cab?
Yeah, so Pankaj, lot of monuments are very close by in Hampi, and if you really want to explore it on your own pace, then the best way is to walk, because some of the monuments, as I said, are close by, so you can walk and just go in each and every of the monument and just explore it. But having said that, there are auto walas who will give you like a 1 day tour for 800 or 900 rupees, and they will take you to all each of these monuments. But the thing is that they'll be like rush, 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 chalo, chalo, up next, because they have to complete their tour. So what I did was, like, on my first trip, I did take an auto, but I was not happy because it's like he's doing things in his own ways, and I had not much of a freedom. So next time when I went, I hired a cycle, and you get cycle for like 100 rupees, and
Or a day?
100 to 200 rupees for a day. You can bargain it for 100 rupees as well. And then you drive the cycle around. Imagine that's like, again, the broken stone architecture, the ruined side, and then you have like coconut trees, and then you fresh air coming from both the sides, and the village feel all together, and then you're driving a cycle. For me, it was like a liberating feeling to be driving a cycle on such road alone on a solo trip, and I felt really nice. I can't explain the feeling I had at that point in time in words, but it was great. So if you're going solo or with friends, I would say that hire a bicycle. It's a good exercise, as well as you can just move around at your own space. But yeah, it would be little tiring because there are like ups and downs, but it will be fun. And if you don't want to do a cycle tour, you can hire a bicycle. You can hire a moped or a bike as well, but that will be like 400 rupee per day or something.
So,
Yeah.
if the weather is good, then I guess bicycle should be the best option.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Who's
Best option. Go in December, hire a cycle, drive around Hampi. That's like you would feel amazing.
okay? Any other information that you would want to give about the place?
Uh,
Yes,
yeah,
Farhan.
for any specific question you have, or any in any direction like we could go.
Yeah, anything that you.
Yeah, sure. So, I would like to talk about like the villages around Hampi as well. So, there is one village called Anegudi village. So, one of my trips, I was just took the bike and we were exploring the village because villages are a little far off. So, cycle se nahi hoga. For that, you need a bike only. And what happened that we were just roaming around villages and we saw women like they were making really fancy products through banana fiber. And when I saw it, it was like fancy bags and fancy kitchen stuff, baskets and stuff. When you go to a store in your city, like say if you go to Fab India or something, you will buy that for 1,000 rupees or probably more than that. And they were selling it for like 100 rupee or something. And banana, like I said, that coconut tree and banana trees are two like major crops you will find over there. So they had plenty of it and they were using it in such a good way by making these products. And I also saw foreigners who had set up a deal with those ladies and she was buying it from them and selling it, like exporting it to overseas. I was like, what a good way of kind of using the whole mechanism as also making a business, making a way of, having a way of business as well in this. So that's amazing. So if you get time, probably you should also check out Anegudi village and you could find each house would have banana fiber products and stuff. So you can check out that as well and buy it. Hmm.
Something else?
अरे यार तुम पूछो मुझे इतना बुलवा लो आई नीड टू हैव वाटर मैन you should have told me. Yeah.
Okay, so I guess we have got a very fair idea about Hampi.
Yeah.
Uh, and I guess 3 days trip should have been great. अभी
Yeah.
ये जो Saturday, Sunday and Monday is
Hmm.
also holiday, ईद की छुट्टी है.
Hmm.
This would have been a perfect
Yeah.
extended weekend.
Hmm.
Yes, no doubt about that.
Hmm.
Someone has asked, are you a solo traveler? Are you a solo traveler?
No, I've answered this in a lot of my other lives. I would love to go to a trip with with the people I love. You know, मैं नहीं चाहती that if I'm sitting at a very beautiful place, I do a video call to my family members or to friends and show them the place. Rather, I want them to be my side and then we share that moment. So honestly, I have not done a lot of solo trips as of now. Here and there, I have taken my solo trips. I went to solo trip to Hampi. I went on solo trip to Kerala, to Udaipur, places like that. But I have not like extensively done a lot of solo trips. But solo trips
So,
also have their own benefits, you know, like you get to live the time with your own. When I think it's good when you really want to have time for yourself. जब दुनिया से थक गए हो तो solo trip पे चले जाओ. Like, you know, you get to feel yourself, I guess.
uh, so I guess there is this
Hmm.
ongoing debate that we start keep coming up with solo versus group,
Uh-huh.
and there is this newfound fascination about solo travel and all.
Yeah,
So,
there
what's your
is.
opinion about
Like I said before, right? If unless I'm in a phase in my life where I want to really give time to myself, you know, or probably when I want to do a lot of photography. And then photography is something when you want to do with your own space. You don't want people to just wait for you when you wait for a shot, right? So unless I'm with going on a trip with that agenda, I would like to go with people who I love. Instead of sharing the what I saw or my experiences to them digitally, I would like to share it with them when we are together. So that is it. But at the same time, if I want to go on a photography assignment or I want to feel the place, like, you know, or rather I'm in a phase where I want to be a little alone and figure out things in life, then I would like to take a solo trip. But I think solo trip
it?
makes you a lot more independent as well. So everybody should maybe go for a solo trip for sure for a few days, a few months if possible.
And this can be the starting point. Your 3 days trip to Hampi can be
Yeah, it
the
can
start.
be. Yes, so that is what I did because I had not gone for a solo trip. So I took like small places. Like when I was in North, I took Udaipur because I know I was comfortable with Udaipur. So if any issue happened, I will be able to handle it. And then when I came to South, I chose Hampi as my solo trip destination.
How safe is the place?
It is very safe. The thing is, but things start to get dark after 8 o'clock, 7, 8 o'clock, and there are not a lot of options. Like it is not a fancy place where you would find a lot of cafes and streets are enlightened with fancy lights and stuff. So it will get dark post 8 and something. So probably after that, I recommend people who are traveling alone to not venture out alone and stuff. But apart from that, the thing is, the days in Hampi start at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. So you get up at 5 o'clock, you explore till late, and then you just kind of crash at a place. And then it is pretty safe for solo travelers as well. And the thing which happened with me was I was going to monuments so many times. It's so different times. Like sunset pe acha photo aega, I went again and stuff. So the securities guard were like, you're the same girl who just came, right? I was like, yeah. But it was pretty safe. I did not have any kind of issue in Hampi, and people were really helpful. Nobody kind of tried to cheat on me or follow me or unnecessarily chepung around with me. Nothing like that happened.
Okay. So, what are the plans after this mess up gets clear? Lockdown के बाद.
यार पहली बात तो ये लॉकडाउन के बाद इज आई डोंट नो व्हाट इज बाद because this thing is going to take a lot of time. I feel everything to become normal. Though we are seeing the lockdown is being lifted and stuff, but I'm not making any plan as of now, and I don't want to go on a trip for at least few months. And I feel there's no rush for me to kind of start doing the travel thing because I want to take a conservative step and see how things are going and stuff, then plan it and not make any plan immediately.
First destination in India that you would want to visit?
Go Karna. Because it is very close to Bangalore, I can do a car trip, I guess, and I will not be in contact with a lot of people. So it should be easily doable. And I'm craving for beach, I'm craving for a beach sunset, I'm craving for ocean. So yeah, I think Gokarna would be my first trip after things become normal.
Have you been there before? Or this would be
No,
the first time?
no, I've not been. No, I've not been to Gokarna. So I've been to Hampi teen bar, but I never got a chance to go to Gokarna. Just so close by. Gokarna is also so close by, but I never made a plan for Gokarna. But now I'm listening so much about it and that it's so beautiful. The beaches are like almost like a virgin beach and stuff. So I really want to explore Gokarna.
We have one question: how much one should earn from photography? How much? I mean, as much as you can. But if you're asking how, then probably you would want to take this question.
Yeah, I won't call myself a photographer as of now, but it depends, no, what kind of picture you have. It totally depends on what picture you have, I guess, right? How beautiful the picture is, or who is willing to buy it. If you're finding a very known agency who is ready to buy your photo, you might as well quote quite high. But if just a smaller agency is willing to buy it or something, I don't know what is the capacity of your buyer also to pay. You will see that as well. And what your picture is conveying, what is the story in your picture, all these things will matter.
So I guess Nishu, people would be interested in knowing what exactly you do apart from travel, and do you have a full-time job or do you travel and blog? What exactly?
Yeah, so I'm actually a CA, chartered accountant, and I work as well, and then doing this travel blogging or travel thing in whenever I get time, like mostly during the weekends, during the long weekends, and then I also take leaves year twice or thrice in a year, like a longer holiday and plan my things. So it gets really hectic, Pankaj, for me, like, managing the work and then coming back and then sitting on photos and trying to give my best in this field as well. So, yeah, these are the two things I'm kind of juggling between.
It is, of course, very difficult to keep both the passions. I mean, your full-time job, if you that's
Yeah,
in a different field, and being
it
CA,
is
that's all. It's
right.
completely different.
Yeah, that's.
And
Hmm.
go ahead, go ahead.
No, no, please tell me.
Yeah, so I'm saying that if there is some overlap in the work, then
Hmm.
probably that's easier. But these are two opposite, I mean, very different fields, being CA and then blogging and traveling and photography. So
Totally.
you just need to come out of one mindset and then start something else. It would be
Yeah,
different.
it is very different, very different. I'm like, when I'm working in office, things are so different than this side of the world, right? Creative thinking and thinking about a good story, a good picture. It's like poles apart. But the good part is that like I get to mix both. So when I'm working like on a travel blogging site, okay, I know how numbers work, how law work, right? So if I have to sometimes probably deal with a contract here or talk to somebody, I know, okay, they would not know that what background I have. They'll talk in like their language, but I know what the relevant questions are to be asked. And similarly, when I'm doing number and law work, and if you add a little bit of creativity in that profession as well, that then it gives a very different deliverable altogether. So I like that, okay, both are although very different, but a mixture of both I think could be extraordinary. So yeah, but it is tough for sure. Like I'm not no denial in that it is extremely tough and extremely hectic.
And also in terms of planning the holidays and all,
Hmm.
so I guess if you take some holidays like 2 or 3 extended
Hmm.
holidays, then once you come back, you kind of have to work harder to justify your holidays and all. So
Yeah.
that's
So the good part is that in my at least what happens is during Christmas time we have a block holiday itself, like from starting from 24 till 2nd of January, or then you can add 1 2 more days because less number of people are working during that time period, specifically if you deal with a lot of foreign clients and stuff. So that one time phase I keep it for myself and I plan in advance that okay, this time I have to use it. And then because of the lesser work pressure at that time, it becomes easier also to kind of manage. And then given that we also have like leaves of 20 25 days, so it's pretty justifiable to use that leave for your holiday. I think that should be good. But then I think about, okay, no sick leaves. Okay, I have to save my leaves and stuff. So that's a little challenging.
yeah.
Hi, Akash. Yeah. How do you manage? You also work, right? Like you also work and you also travel. So do you also face similar challenges?
Absolutely. On the same boat. Even
कोई
if I
बात
am sick,
कोई
I go
कोई
to
बोल
office.
Yeah.
So if people ask me why are you
Hmm.
coming to office? You're not fair. My standard reply is I am saving my leaves, bro. So
Yeah.
planning
Hmm.
starts at the time when we receive this annual holiday list.
Yeah.
So I just go through the list. I see what are the important events, how I can
Hmm.
club. So that's the first phase of planning, and
Yeah.
then there is always some buffer time in
Hmm.
terms of like a 3 months buffer. And as soon as I see that yeah, I can probably take leave at this point of
Hmm.
time, I extend the leaves, add on 2 3, and then that's
Yeah.
that's the thing.
I think, yeah, for me also, I do the same thing, but I make sure that long weekends pay I'm not home. So people don't even ask me if I would like to join them something because they know I will have a plan. Yeah. But I think it's all about what you really prioritize in life, right? If you really like traveling, you will prioritize towards that. And if you like baking or if you like writing, so you use that holiday for doing that kind of a job. So
Yes.
it's up to one's preference and how. But I'm just thinking, like you said, all are on the same boat. I'm just thinking, somebody please come and push that boat. बस वो boat को आगे धक्का लगा दो यार, पहुंचा दो. Yeah.
When did this passion actually? When did you realize about this passion of travel and photography?
Yeah, nice question. I really like to answer this question. So what had happened, Pankaj, is in 2015, okay, I went for my first trip. So before that, I did not have much of an exposure of traveling. Like it was very small family, like small background family, and we did not go on a lot of holidays. We did not go on any foreign trips like a lot of people go when they're kids itself. So those things are not applicable in my case. I had never stepped out on a mountain. So I was in Chennai for my first internship training and I went to Kunnur, and that was the first time I'm seeing mountains. I will not tell you, I went mad. I was like, wow, wow, wow. Like every step, I am just saying wow. And I was so lost. Like, I felt like, where the hell did I put myself before? While there's so much to see, right? It's such a beautiful world, and I'm just in my laptop. I'm just thinking about growth, career, becoming big and stuff. But this world is so beautiful, and I need to explore more of it. So that was the first 3 day trip, which kind of changed my life entirely. And I wanted to go to more number of places, see mountains around the world, see the beaches around the world and just experience them. So it all started from that trip, and after that, I've been continuously taking out time to go to different parts of the world and to go as many places as possible, and maintain a balance of slow travel as well as using the time, limited time what we get while working full time.
इसमें ये कैमरा कब आया पिक्चर में?
Oh yeah, वो तो भूल ही गई मैं सवाल. So what happened was like initially I was just taking normal photos through my phone. Like I had OnePlus X, and photos are okay, fine, normal photos. But your corporate friends are like, oh, you're going to so many places. Oh, this photo is good and stuff. So I started hearing this a lot, and then I was like, हाँ okay, but I want to do better now, like ठीक है, if I'm traveling anyway I can buy a camera. So I spoke to one of my friend, and it's a real story. What happened was I thought कि कैमरा कितने का आता होगा, 20,000 30,000, and I was earning then, I was independent, so I could afford this. So I called one of my friend who is in photography. He told me, okay, what is your budget? I was like, don't worry about budget, just tell me the best camera possible. He said, bro, there are cameras for 2 lakh, 3 lakh, 4 lakh. What is your budget? I was like, oh, okay, wait, I'm calling you back. I was like, what? This is the real story, this is the real story. Then I called him back. I was like, bro, listen, my budget is only 20,000-30,000, okay? If you can tell me a good camera. Because I'm from finance background, I had never done reading. I directly called him and asked him ki kya bata do, which camera is good. Because I was like, okay, he will tell me why to kind of ponder on this, because he knows about everything. And that is how it was. And I didn't even know how to put the strap of my camera. I learned it through YouTube. I took it on my first trip without reading about anything, without seeing how to operate it. And I was like, मुझे तो manual पे चलाना है, because I've heard manual photos are good to edit, and manual is like when you're a photographer. I put it on manual and I started shooting, and then all photos are white. All photos have like so much exposure. I started abusing myself that why did I waste so much money on this camera? The photos are such a bad photos. Oh God, I think I bought a wrong camera. I did a mistake and stuff. And I came back. Then I read about, okay, the triangles of exposure, ISO, and aperture. And then I was like, oh, that is why my photos were white. That exposure was so high. And that is honestly my learning curve. It has moved very slow because of the other priorities I have in life. But I clearly remember the moments which I have passed and how I have learned. Like from knowing nothing about how to even put a strap in the camera to now knowing a lot more about these things, and just thinking a camera maximum is for 30, 20, 30,000, to knowing, okay, it is for lakhs as well. Yeah, it's just fun. So, when people started appreciating my work, basically, even from photos taken from phone, I picked up the camera, and then I started learning a little bit about it. And then I really I feel that now also there's so much to learn. I just know the basics of the 3 triangles I learned that time.
So yours is a DSLR.
No, I bought a mirrorless actually.
तो फिर ऐसा नहीं हुआ अगर कोई
मैं
फोटो खींची और घर आके देखा ये तो स्क्रू अप है?
No, ऐसा हुआ. No, the thing is
नहीं,
that
बाद में
I
when you started actually you were
हाँ.
well versed with the triangle.
Yeah, it happened. Now also when I'm shooting a picture, see, I'm learner. Okay, I'm at the very basic stage. So now also, like when I shoot a picture, I feel like, wow, this must be a very good photo. I'll come home and see it's like, this is a touchy photo. Like honestly speaking, this is really a horrible picture. And the frame is stayed. I could have made it very simpler. Like that time if I'd given one more second to it, the picture could have come out really well. But that is how you learn. I think the more time you invest in your whatever skill you want to pick up, that is when you improve. So now also I know that not all photos are great, but some one picture out of that would be I really like, and that is what I pick. And that is what I show to people, and they think that, oh, pictures are so good, but behind that one picture there are 30, 40 pictures which are horrible. Yeah, so which people don't get to see actually. Hi Tanayesh.
Guys, do you want to ask anything to Nishu about travel?
I have a lot of funny stories, guys. All personal funny stories, and I always share them so that you guys know the reality of this side of the world as well.
कैमरा गिराया है कभी?
कैमरा गिराया है कभी नहीं. but lens गिराया पूरा, like you know, it fell down. I was like, damn, अब तो गया. But it luckily, thank God, it is still surviving. Touch wood. Yeah,
So
कैमरा नहीं गिराया.
टूटा नहीं था मतलब लेंस.
नहीं बच गया था. Touch wood. I'm still touching the wood because I don't want it to happen, dude. These are very expensive. I've learned it now.
Any experience of an unplanned trip that didn't work very well?
So my Bhutan trip actually, you know, I really wanted to go to Bhutan, and I had heard a lot of great things about Bhutan. That Bhutan is really beautiful and Bhutan is amazing, and how great the people are, and the global happiness index had increased my expectation to 100 levels, I guess. But when I went there, I saw the nature beauty. Yeah, वहाँ पे it is naturally beautiful, probably as beautiful as our Himachal. But I did not find that happiness index being followed by people. Though people are, it is slow life and people are moving in their own space and stuff. But at the same time, the hype we have given the globe that people are pursuing happiness in Bhutan, that I did not find it. Even I found locals also complaining that they also want money. The similar issues that government is not doing much, and they are also not happy with the government and stuff. So there were issues in Bhutan as well. And that trip for me was like, I saw that you don't have a public transport. You always need to be with a guide and with a driver, and you have very limitations when you want to explore the place. You can't even go to 30% or rather 70% of the areas in Bhutan. All of them are restricted. And then you, for whatever is permissible, that also you need a pass. You can only use that for 7 days, then you have to come back. So these small things, I think my expectation were like here, but because of these issues, my actual experience came down to some very ground level, I think. Yeah. So,
Yes, I have also regarding this. One place which you visited but didn't turn out that great and want to visit again.
I think if it didn't turn out again, I will not want to go there again. But yeah, like I was saying before, that Bhutan was a trip which I was expecting a lot from. I was expecting ki global happiness. I will find happiness in every person. I will find nature beauty. But it was a lot like our Himachal, honestly speaking. And so, if somebody really wants to see the mountains and the Buddhist culture, you have that thing in India itself. So you can probably explore that in India as well. But at the same time, I would like to go back to Bhutan, because when I explored, I just did the west part of the Bhutan and some central areas of Bhutan, because east side of Bhutan is like you need stricter permissions to go there and stuff. So I'm planning to go someday. I hope it happens that I go and explore the east side of Bhutan. And then I know, okay, what I need to do, what I should not be doing in Bhutan to have a better experience. So I would like to go back to Bhutan and explore the East Bhutan.
I guess this happiness index survey is
Hmm.
something like best places to work survey.
Yeah, best places to?
To work survey, companies have this.
Oh, yeah. Great places, not best, great places to work.
Great places. हाँ,
Yeah,
right. So
yeah.
employees से पूछो तो वो हमेशा ही कहेंगे पता नहीं कैसे
Ne-
great है.
our company has come in the top 5 list. I'm like, okay, congratulations.
So you
Yeah.
really feel that? Won't tell on
I think
record.
it depends on the individual's team and the individual also. So one fact may not be applicable to all the cases, you know.
Uh, so we have one question related to camera. Which camera should I buy as a beginner?
Hmm.
Uh,
Uh,
as I was
you,
planning to buy Nikon D7200.
you want to answer that, Pankaj?
I would rather advise him to visit
Read.
that session that Ashish took about camera features and all. So
Yeah.
for your question, please
Hmm.
ping me over DM. I'll send you a link. You can just go through the video. In that, Ashish did a live session with me, and he explained what all things you should be looking at while you purchase your camera. So you can go through that video. You'll get a very good idea about what features you should be looking at. Depending upon your budget, then you can decide upon what camera you should be buying. Just
Yeah.
as me.
Hmm.
Then we have, what is the future of traveling?
For immediate few months, I think it's blurred because a lot of people may want to be in their safer zone, be at home and protect their families and stuff. But at the same time, I think a lot of people, I would say a lot of younger people may want to just go out and explore and not worry too much about safety and stuff. So, and also the travel industry may face challenges like how do they maintain social distancing as well as give the same kind of experience which was possible before? Is it possible to now stay in a hostel given the social distancing rules and your protection around it? So a lot of changes might happen in future, and we just need to kind of keep ourselves updated on how countries around the world are managing things and see how the best can be implemented in India as well.
There is a very beautiful video that I saw today, in fact.
Okay.
Lot of people, lot of CEOs and top management of
Hmm.
travel companies have come together,
Hmm.
and they have created this video in which they are talking about safe travel. So I'll send
Yeah.
you the link.
Yeah.
It's
Please
a
do
very
that.
very good concept.
Yeah.
Uh, Another, how do you manage your professional life and traveling simultaneously? This video would be live on my website
Yeah.
for 24 hours. Nishu has already replied to this, so you can probably
So
watch the video.
she's from Indonesia. So hi there. We will upload this video on the website and on his channel as well. So you can check it there because I've already answered this question in detail, I guess.
Nishu, the which camera model you use?
I'm not going to answer because you called me the. But I'm just kidding. I'm using a Sony A6000, which is like the basic model for a mirrorless Sony mirrorless series.
Okay. Sony
Yeah,
is really taking things
good.
best of.
Do I have not used other camera, okay? So I don't know when people ask me which one to buy because I have not used the other ones. How can I answer this question? I can only answer specific questions to what I have used. So Sony A6000, whichever version I use, is pretty good for a beginner point of view because it has like all the good features and very simple way to operate. So it's good camera for a beginner for sure.
It's very small. It's very handy.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
is very
it's such a
small.
you can even, I mean, keep it in your pocket. Just a sec. I'll show you the camera. Just a sec.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
guys, if
you
you
have
can
the same
see,
camera?
I have 6300.
Oh, you're 60.
This
Yeah,
is
it is
this
so
big camera.
small. Yeah, it is
Yeah,
very small and very powerful.
all my photos are shot by this camera or my
Hmm.
phone camera, and this is like very compact. There's this kit lens that you get along with it. This is
Hmm.
sufficient enough for everything that you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty good enough.
I think somebody is asking what is the agenda of this live chat room. So it was my favorite destination, but I think we just spoke very little about it.
Okay, yeah. So agenda is that this live session I'm doing on behalf of India.com. India.com is a news and multiple genre related website. It's basically everything that you want to know about India. So on behalf of India.com, I'm doing these live sessions in which we are talking about travel and tourism
Hmm.
within India, what all to see. We pick one place and then we talk about that place in detail. We'll record these sessions and we will put these videos on India.com along with a small article. So yeah, that's the motive of these sessions. You have you used GoPro? Nishu, have you used?
Yeah, I have. I actually bought GoPro very recently, GoPro 7 last year actually, and not explored it a lot, but made started to make videos right now, which you can probably check out. I put couple of videos on recently shot videos through GoPro. And I'm loving the video mode for sure. It's so good. It's very small, very handy for a traveler who's not too much into filmmaking or photography. So it gives you a perfect balance of enjoying the moment as well as shooting.
So I purchased GoPro 4 and
Hmm.
then I purchased GoPro 6.
Okay.
So it's a beauty. I mean, the stabilization after GoPro 5, the stabilization
Yeah.
is pretty good. 4 was very shaky,
Hmm.
crap in
Yeah.
terms of stabilization, but 5 onwards they improvised a lot.
Yeah.
So
By Hero
there is
7.
7 and 6 are almost similar.
Hmm.
Very minimal improvement. So you can purchase 6 also if you are planning
Hmm. I wish कहीं से मुझे 8 free में मिल जाए. I win some competition and I get GoPro 8 for free. I will do a giveaway of my old GoPro 7.
to.
Yeah.
Probably you can contact GoPro for that.
They will not give me, man. They deal with only big people.
7 is more stable. Yes, 7 is stable. I didn't
Hmm.
find very vast difference in terms of stability of 6 and 7. So
Yeah.
yeah, there is obviously a difference in 7 and 6 in terms of pricing. So yeah, opted to go for 6. I'll
Yeah.
wait till 9 before I upgrade it.
Yeah, that's a good strategy. And I will
Yes.
wait till I get a free GoPro and not buy, not upgrade it. Yeah.
Uh, s- oh, 9 is coming in October. Okay, probably. If by that time we are back on roads, then I'll think about 9. 9.
Yeah. That is the kind of independence you have when you have a full-time job, right? You don't have to think too much when you want to do something, right? Like if you're a
Yes.
freelancer, you have to think so many things before buying a new product, like EMIs, how would you settle them, stuff. But when you're working, you can pretty much use the money for doing what you really love. So I
You can
think
actually
that is
plan
why.
your expenses.
Yeah, you can plan your expenses, you can plan your savings, you can plan to the extent possible, given that we are living in a uncertain world totally. But you can plan at least in whatever things are in your control. You want me to talk a lot more about Humpy? No, right?
I guess we have got a fair bit of idea.
Yeah.
I'll note
So
these
see,
points.
the thing is that each of the monument are very special and very different, and it's like related to history, and you have to go back to ages to know the history of it. And I don't know if you or the audience are interested in knowing such intricacies of each and every monument.
So, do you get those tour guides, the headsets that
Yeah,
we
you
that
do
we see
get.
in the places?
You do
Okay.
get. So audio guides are available at one of the like at each of the monuments you would get an audio guide which could be used to all the monuments. So I think I will recommend that whenever you go, you should take the audio guide because it gives you a lot more idea and perspective apart from just the architectural marvelous of that monument or the place.
Okay.
Hmm.
I will just so before going, do you actually recommend reading about the place because then
Okay.
probably you'll be able to appreciate the place better? What do you say?
So I will say find a balance of both. I was just reading a book which had a line that it's good to buy a guidebook, it is good to read, but don't treat your guidebook like a Bible. Okay, whatever is mentioned in this, I'm going to do that. If you read a blog, okay, but don't treat that blog or a book like a Bible. बस इसमें जो लिखा है वही है. No, it is not the case. So even if you are reading about that monument or reading about places to do, but still be open to go to place randomly coming up to you. Just don't go by what is written in a guidebook. So पढ़ लो, it's good. Like you mentioned, it will give you a more broader idea of the things, but be inquisitive enough that when you're actually reaching that place, be open-minded and be open to asking a lot more questions to locals. To if you find somebody explaining over there, be open to hear them out Just don't go fully by whatever is mentioned in the guidebook. And that was a literal line used in the book I was reading, that don't treat guidebooks like Bibles.
Uh, hey, hi everyone. Hi guys. For people who have
Hi.
joined just now, Indian history has lot to explore and gather knowledge truly. Yeah,
Yeah.
indeed. For people who are
Yeah.
actually interested. Really.
Yeah, I think you know what Indonesia. In fact, as I told you, she's from Indonesia. Indonesia also has a very strong culture, and though we now know Indonesia for a lot more of beaches and doing snorkelings or the islands, but Indonesian history is also something which is amazing, because I think it was also inspired. It was earlier a Buddhist, or rather a Hinduist nation, and then how it converted totally into becoming a Muslim country. So that is something that's a very unique story to probably read a lot more about and know a lot more about.